We will see some viewers getting here. Oh yes, the stream has started. Have it here. Alex, I will be translating into Russian. I hope you will not be scared.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's wait for some time and we'll get some viewers. Oh, we have the first one. Hello, guys. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Guys, you can write in the chat box and we'll be reading your comments. So say hi and we will check how we see the comments. Всем привет, друзья! Все, кто присоединяется. Всем привет, друзья. Так, не вижу комментариев почему-то. Сейчас попробую наладить. Alex, can you see the comments?
No,
somewhere?
I can't see anything.
Neither.
I've got a list. I've brought a list up. I can write a message now.
Okay.
Showcase. Ooh.
Somewhere. Oh, that's my stream on. I try to open it with... Всем привет, ребят, сейчас, секундочку, у нас тут небольшой такой момент. Напишу, найду, где у нас тут чат. Вот, отлично. Alex, I can see the comments on my phone, so if you have some other devices, maybe you can do it too.
Okay.
Because I can see the comments here, and that's working.
Is it on a specific? Where do I look for the comments? Will they come up in a specific message?
I can see this chat box in this. Yeah, so there is the video coming.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
me. Hi.
Yeah.
And there are comments. Yeah. Всем привет, друзья. Наконец-то видно комментарий. Все, простите, пожалуйста. Guys, hello, everybody. How are you? And how has your day been? Right. So, Alex, they asked, do you speak Russian?
I'm afraid I do not. It'll have to be English only for me.
English only. Yes, but Alex has got some secret languages, actually.
I do, yes.
Right. Guys, where are you from? I'm from Russia, and Alex is from...
I'm from the UK.
He's from the UK, that's right. Ребят, откуда вы? Сегодня будем говорить на двух языках, буду больше переводить, чтобы вы поняли максимальное количество информации, не только по-английски, чтобы вы тоже понимали. И Алекс, я буду переключаться на английский, чтобы Алекс тоже меня понимал. So, guys, where are you from? Can you see the comments, Alex?
No, and my phone won't let me join. I've clicked the link and it won't let me join the call from my phone. It says no.
That's all right. I'll be your secretary today. I'll be giving you some information from the chat.
Okay.
So, Alex, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about learning English in general and some of our experiences when living abroad. And if you haven't been abroad, that's fine. We can talk about where you'd like to visit, things like that, your dream destination or dream holiday. So
all right.
To set off, like I have lived in Beijing in the past for 6 months, and also I'm now living in Greece. So I've left the UK a couple of years ago, and I now live in Greece.
Ребят, кто знает, что такое Бейджин? Ребят, кто скажет? В каких двух странах Алекс жил и городах, возможно? Okay, they are from Canada, from Kazakhstan, from Ukraine, from Tyumen, that's the city in Russia, Baku, that's Azerbaijan, Arkhangelsk, and Alex, what cities of Russia do you know, by the way?
I know Moscow.
I
know St. Petersburg. And I know Yekaterinburg.
Yekaterinburg, yeah, nice.
And Vladivostok. That's it.
My city is called Samara. Can you say this? Samara.
Samara.
Yeah, that's right. Греция и Пекин, отлично, ребята. Tatarstan, Beijing in China. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So, let's just have a quick plan first. Так, ребят, мы сегодня поговорим о том, как жить за границей, как учить языки за границей. Алекс поделится своим шикарным опытом, потому что он жил в Пекине, в Греции, и он знает другие языки, он учил, он проходил через это сам, он с вами сегодня этим поделится. Собирайте свои вопросы, задавайте в чате, буду отвечать. Если относится к теме, буду отвечать прямо сейчас. Если немножечко отдаляется от темы, в конце ответим. Вот. Также мы расскажем вам сегодня про наш проект Native Show. Это проект про то, как мы помогаем людям изучать английский язык, понимать английский на слух, а также тренировать их разговорные навыки. Is there anybody from Native Show, guys? Is there anybody who's from Native Show who's watching us already? Okay. Everybody's saying hi to you, and yeah, everybody's saying, oh, there's one person who says, tell him I'm from Mars. Big hi to him.
Well, hello to Mars and the Martian people. I hope you come in peace.
Right. Alex, what do you do?
I'm currently running a farming business where I'm trying to grow a herbal tea, which is native to Greece, hence why I'm here.
Okay. Guys, please ask questions in English, and I will be just reading them to Alex, all right? Okay. Yes, Alex, why have you decided to work like this, to work on the farm?
Well, I used to have a corporate job. It's the typical story where I got sick and tired of my office job in a big corporation, and I wanted to get back to my roots and work the land, and I did it. So
you're enjoying it
yes.
too, right?
Yes, I've become a lot stronger. I've been lifting rocks all day out of the field. Lots of heavy lifting, lots of sunshine, lots of fresh air. Now the spring is here. It's all singing birds and butterflies. It's much better than the office where I didn't have a window before.
Yeah. You feel the difference when you change. Right. Guys ask, okay, it's a question. Alex, how old are you?
I am 31.
31, okay. And also some questions. Do you know anything about Ukraine, and have you been to Czech Republic, and do you like traveling?
I love traveling, and Eastern Europe is my first destination. I've been to Asia, I've been to kind of South, I've been to Germany, I've been to South Europe, and now I really need to go to Eastern Europe. I've been to Moscow, and I'm going to be there in a few days again. I have not been to the Czech Republic, and I don't know very much about the Ukraine, apart from I knew a guy from the Ukraine. Kiev is the capital city. It's very flat, I think, and that's about it. It's in Eastern Europe on the Black Sea.
Такие познания, ребят. Давайте вопросы, что непонятно, да? Алекс у нас говорит, что не был в Чехии, но знает столицу Украины, например, и некоторые факты. Что, ребят, сегодня всем привет, кто из Native Show. Вот, Инна, здравствуйте тоже. Вижу вас здесь. Alex, do you remember Inka Dvorzhnitskaya from the chat? She's saying hi because she's watching us too.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Hello.
So today we are talking about our experiences in living abroad. So Alex has lived in Greece, in the United Kingdom, and in China. And I personally also have an experience in living abroad, and that was Turkey. I spent 1 semester there, so I also know what it's like to live somewhere when no one knows your language, and you just need to do something to survive. Ребят, Алекс у нас жил за границей в 3 странах, и я также жила в одной стране, Турция, и если также буду делиться с вами своим опытом, но, конечно, сегодня главный у нас вещатель – это Алекс. Так что давайте будем слушать, постепенно, периодически буду его прерывать на перевод. All right, Alex, so tell me and the guys, please, why and I don't know, why did you go to China? Because it's a really unusual thing. When I've learned about this, that you've been to China, I was pretty surprised.
most people are pretty surprised. It's not a very common destination. It's becoming more popular in the West now, and to learn the language and to visit. But actually, most of the people I met in Beijing were from Russia or Kazakhstan. It's really not a place where Westerners go very often. The thing about China was I've always been interested in the Asia, Japan, Korea, China, and I tried to learn Chinese as my degree. I took Chinese studies at university, and I failed miserably. It was extremely hard, and I wasn't prepared for it.
Alex, just a moment. Just give me some air to translate, because you're speaking. I just need to check. Ребят, понимаете, что говорит Алекс? Понятно ли все? Если непонятно, сейчас будем разговаривать. Так, что он сказал? Давайте по-русски быстренько переводим, рассказываем. То, что понял. Алекс у нас жил в Пекине. Почему поехал в Китай? И что он вообще про это говорит? Давайте тренируем свой английский на слух. Your listening skills, and just share some bits of information you've got. Right. Someone asks you to be a little bit slower, okay? Just
I will try.
A little bit, yeah. 70%, okay, they get it. You studied at the university. You worked. Okay, which one is correct?
A question for me?
Yes. You studied at the university or you worked?
I studied at university. I studied there. Actually, almost 10 years ago now. I studied there.
10 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2009 when I started, so we're getting there. I'd made all the language learning mistakes, plus all the trying to do a degree and party too much mistakes, all at the same time. So after one semester, I decided to switch my degree. So I just took East Asian Studies, but the failure stayed with me. So years later, I always felt I had failed. Hello, you're frozen. Okay.
Did you know any going?
Yeah. I felt that.
Did you know any Chinese before going to Beijing?
I could say hello.
Right. How did you survive far? Not in languages, even English. Насколько я знаю, люди в Китае не говорят по-английски или по-русски. И Алекс говорит, что когда туда поехал, знал только, как сказать «привет». Привет, Алекс, hi, yes.
Hi.
You know this?
Алло, привет.
Алло, привет. Okay. So you knew only how to say hi, and saying that not many people know English. What did you do?
Correction, nobody knows English. Nobody. In China.
So you were like a blind kitten.
Yes, I was like a blind kitten. That is a very good description. In fact, that's one of the experience that stayed with me was I didn't have food for 2 days because I couldn't get a waiter to come to me to take an order, and even if the waiter came to me, I couldn't say anything. So
Alex, please louder. Okay. They say a bit louder and a bit slower.
The experience that has really stayed with me from Beijing was that I didn't eat any food for the first 2 days because I couldn't get the attention of a waiter, and even when I did get the attention, I couldn't speak to them. I couldn't communicate with them at all. So I just ate nothing for 2 days. No. The Chinese are not very helpful people. They're not rude. They're not mean. But there's millions of them. They don't care about one more person. They're too busy. So you have to be very direct with them, grab them, speak to them, and tell them exactly what you want, or you will not get anything.
When I was in Turkey, I also didn't know anything. But of course, Turkish is easier than Chinese. And some people still knew English. But many cases, when we went shopping, we took just pictures with us. There was one day we were trying to find a specific fruit. It's like a peach, if I'm not mistaken. And we didn't know what's the word for that in Turkish. We had a picture. We just showed that and asked if they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't. The supermarkets were okay. You just buy what you want, go to the counter, pay them. But I couldn't even find the supermarket. I couldn't read a sign that said supermarket on it. The buildings didn't look like supermarkets. And even if, because I lived in a hotel for the first few days, even if I bought something in the supermarket, where would I cook it? It wasn't. There isn't so much ready food. There's a lot of snacks and a lot of silly food, but to actually eat, there wasn't very much. You had to cut everything, prepare everything. It was a difficult experience.
Ребят, ну, в общем, смотрите, да, я вижу, тут правильные комментарии пишут, что он не мог кушать еду, потому что он не знал языка, потому что в китайском все на иероглифах, на китайском языке никто не говорит на английском. Я сказала Алексу, что немного людей говорят по-английски, он говорит, поправка, никто не говорит по-английски. И он говорит про то, что было очень сложно заказать еду, потому что просто он пару дней пришлось голодать даже, потому что он не мог понять, где супермаркет, и здания не выглядели как супермаркет. Алекс говорит на 3 языках. Алекс, how many languages do you speak?
At the moment, 3.
3. And what is their level? Like, what are their levels? Intermediate, intermediate?
So, in English, I'm a native speaker.
Really?
In Greek, which is my second language, I'm near enough native speaker, but I did all my higher education in Britain, so for advanced vocabulary, and I get stuck some days. I forget words. For Chinese, I'm intermediate. I would like to develop that more, but it's quite difficult when you're not in the environment.
All right. So you said that you went to China 10 years ago, and have you been using the language since?
Actually, I went to China last year. 10 years ago was my degree, which I failed. Yeah.
Вот ребята спрашивают про то, как учился в университете, если не знал китайского, собственно, поэтому и провалил, он говорит. Но Алекс... Так, слушаю. Так, что происходит? Мы должны переводить то, что он сказал. Нет, вы не должны переводить то, что говорит Алекс. Я вам перевожу, чтобы люди понимали больше. Ребят, напомню, что нас зовут Алекс и Яна. Мы работаем в школе English Show, а также в проекте Native Show, где наши участники общаются с носителями языка в чате, а также получают от них видео каждый день и тренируют свои навыки аудирования. Я вижу, здесь уже много участников есть из проекта Native Show. Всем вам привет, ребята. Какие у нас вопросы, да? Так, вы не переводите, вы просто понимаете то, что он говорит. С проблемами нет, все понимаете. Ну, многие, конечно, у многих другие проблемы, да? All right, so let's come back to your education in China.
Yep.
How did you learn Chinese?
Well, I visited China to specifically learn the language. Like I said before, it stayed with me, my failure. I couldn't get over it. So it didn't matter what I did. It was still in the back of my mind. I had to learn Chinese. So I spoke to my previous teachers and they recommended a university in Beijing. And I made an application and they accepted me. So I went specifically to learn Chinese, and I went on the intensive course, which was 30 hours a week of language learning.
Was it only lessons with teachers, or did you do any self-education too?
Well, you had to do 6 hours of classes every day, and then another 2 to 3 hours at home by yourself to get ready for the next day. Because of the speed, they didn't teach things in class. They expected you to know everything before you went there, and they would explain everything really well. But you had to do a lot of work at home. 2 to 3 hours was minimum. And I was in Beijing. If I didn't speak Chinese, I wouldn't do anything. So I had to use the language. So after a couple of months, I was able to communicate enough to get what I needed.
So do you recommend going to a language course in the country of the target language to learn it?
Definitely. If you have the luxury, the time, the money, I would definitely recommend to spend some time in the country, the target country. And with English, you've got a lot of options. You've got Australia, you've got United Kingdom, Canada, America, New Zealand. So you can pick which one is closer, which one you like, which one you think might be a bit cheaper, whichever works for you. So there's quite a few options with English, but
Alex,
I can't recommend it enough.
Can you say something in Chinese?
对，我会说汉语。你好，我名字是艾丽桑达。
Oh my god, that sounds scary.
You should
I
hear that
heard the word
talking.
that means hello. And what about the other parts of the speech? What did you say?
I said my name is Alexander. What was I saying? Yeah, I just said my name is Alexander.
Right. Ну что, ребят, слышали, да? Да, Алекс представился, он на самом деле сложный вопрос, когда тебе говорят, скажи что-нибудь на языке, естественно, сразу начинаешь себя представлять. Говорит на китайском языке сейчас на уровне intermediate, это средний уровень знания языка, поэтому очень достаточно хороший. Ребят, кто услышал, Алекс вообще сколько раз был в Китае? Сколько раз Алекс был в Китае и что он может об этом сказать, да, как он поддерживает свой уровень?
Yeah, I like to say the first thing I learned in China was I don't want spicy, because on the second day, when I did get some food, I didn't understand what they were saying, and I said yes to spicy food, and it was glowing red from the chilies. It was quite a painful experience. So yeah, first thing I learned, no spices.
Alright. Ребят, что за шутка сейчас, да, была? Не шутка, такая история. Какая у него проблема? Проблема какая возникла? Ребят, кто не понимает, напишите, пожалуйста, в чате, кто не понимает, у кого проблемы, или нам нужно также останавливаться. В принципе, мы это и делаем. Что за цифры полетели, я как-то пропустила. Okay, so Alex has... сказал, что острую пищу он сначала попробовал, но потом перестал это есть, потому что это был очень и очень страшный опыт в его жизни. Okay, so how can you say that? So you attended lessons, like classes of Chinese, and what did you do there? Was it like a communicative lessons, or did you write, or what did you do?
We did everything. The Chinese are quite traditional in their approach to learning, and there is the reason for this is you have to learn a lot of things off by heart. It's not necessarily a creative language because of the writing system. You have to get everything identical, correct, and very, very clear, because their writing system is crazy. And it's very easy to mistake what you've written. Every single word has its own symbol. So you have to learn every single word as a symbol. And this can only happen by repeating things over and over again. But we did speaking, and it was very interactive. If you made it interactive, the teachers would try, but you had to speak to them. So most of the class wouldn't say anything. I was one of those annoying people who would always stick his hand up and communicate, because I knew that you have to push yourself. You have to try, even if you're wrong.
Wait a second. That's a very good advice. Can you say it again so that all people understand this idea?
Yes. So I was, like I said, I was that person in the classroom who's always putting his hand up, asking questions, and always replying to the teacher when they ask a question to the class. Because the majority of the classroom would just sit there very quietly and say nothing. And I noticed that most of them never progressed. So it doesn't matter if you're wrong. It doesn't matter if you're wrong.
When I studied at the university and we were learning English, beginning from the first year of education, I started talking because I'm a very communicative person, and I always interacted with my classmates, with my teacher. There were some people who were always silent, and they just didn't take part in the process of lesson. They didn't reply. They were scared, and at the end of the studies, they didn't progress as much as we did. The other part, the community, the more sociable part.
Exactly. What is there to lose? What are you scared of? Go for it. Even if it's wrong,
Yeah,
just say
that's
it.
right.
They will correct you. Their job is to make it right, and then you will remember it. So
Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Ребят, когда вы учите язык, Алекс сейчас нам говорит об этом, что когда он учился, что он делал всегда, это он всегда задавал вопросы. Он поднимал руку, задавал вопросы и не боялся быть таким назойливым учеником для своих одногруппников, потому что он знал, что если он задает вопросы, если он разговаривает, то он развивает свой язык, и если вы задаете вопросы, если вы разговариваете, то вы всегда прогрессируете, потому что вы практикуете свой язык иностранный. Не бойтесь задавать вопросы и не бойтесь совершать ошибки. All right, so what is the next tip that you would give us?
the next tip, I would take an example of my classmate who also lived with me in the same house. She hated China. She hated everything. She hated the language. We found it a bit strange that she visited. She didn't give up, and after she would go to class. She wasn't best in class, but she would go home and she would study, and she would study hard, and she would do all the homework. And
But
she was
hating the
committed.
language.
Yes, she did. She hated China. Everything went wrong. She lost her baggage. The food was terrible. She had lots of allergies. China did not work for her. She didn't have a good time. But she was very committed, and it didn't matter how bad things became, or if she was ill, she would study every day, and she would go to class the next day, having studied everything. And finally, she was the best in class. And it was like, until month 3, she couldn't write a sentence. By the time we left, she was better than everybody. She was better than people who had a Chinese background. And that was through kind of just not giving up and being committed. And she never allowed the negativity to affect her. She just kind of kept going. So
that's a good idea. And even if you understand that you don't like it, but still you get everything that you can from the language. There is a comment. My classmate yeah, that is very funny. My classmate hated China, hated language. Yeah, that's funny. When I came to Turkey, I went there because it was the only opportunity to go abroad. It was an exchange program with, it's like Erasmus. Alex, I think you know this thing.
I know Erasmus. Yeah.
And yes, we went to Turkey, and I also didn't like Turkey. Not that I hated, but I just didn't like. I didn't feel anything about this. But this is a very interesting thing. Like when you are in the country for quite a long time, you start feeling close to it and you start loving it. I'm sure that that girl that you are talking about really feels nostalgic about China, and
she wants to go back.
Yes, she wants to go back, really.
Yeah.
So this is the idea. When you don't like something, but you think you need it. For example, I also want to learn Chinese, but I really don't like the way it sounds. I don't like it. I like the culture, the history.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to going to China just because I know it's going to be like Turkey. At first I don't like it, but then I will fall in love and I will be motivated to learn the language.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Он говорит про женщину, он говорит, одноклассница у него была, которая не любила китайский язык и Китай, и все вообще у нее там проблемы с багажом были, но после всего она просто поставила себе цель, она делала домашние задания, она просто хорошо училась, и в конце курса она была лучшей студенткой. И сейчас, как я уже сказала, что она сейчас вспоминает Китай и хочет вернуться, сказал Алекс. Например, я вот рассказала пример про то, что я жила в Турции, когда я туда поехала, я тоже не особо любила ее, но после того, как я там прожила определенное время, я чувствую теплые чувства, и я испытываю теплые чувства, и это, конечно, дорого стоит. То есть, когда вы живете в стране, вы влюбитесь в нее, и у вас даже не будет вставать вопросы мотивации учить язык. Alex is from the United Kingdom, but now he is living in Greece. That was a question. Right. So, right. So there is another thing that I'm personally interested. So you said that you lived in China for half a year, right?
Yep.
Okay. And what level did you have at the end of your 6 months?
I was intermediate. I was
Intermediate.
HSK level 3.
Did you have 30 lessons per week for
30 hours?
6 months? 30 hours per week for 6 months, really?
Yeah, it was really hard, really tough.
Really hard. Did you hate it? Sometimes, did you want to go back to cry?
Finally, I did hate it. I think by month 4.5, after just the constant trying to learn the characters, and there was just so much. We did all of the language's grammar in 6 months. We did the whole thing, all of it, and it just got too much, and I needed a break. There was no break, because in China there are no breaks, only work. And it was just too much finally. But I'm really glad about it. But I think the last month for me, my level really dropped. I wasn't doing the homework. I wasn't paying attention. But you're gone. I've got the burger.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. But I think overall I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I did it. It was like a gift to myself after years of working and living in a situation I didn't particularly like. So would I do it again? Yes, I would. I would definitely go back and do another 6 months if I had the money. But that last month was awful.
Ребят, Алекс провел 30 часов, учил 30, занимался английским 30 часов в неделю, не 40, а 30, не совсем такой интенсив, но они занимались дома также. Right. So, Alex, can you tell us about your feelings about living in totally different culture?
As someone who has like a dual culture in my family in general, and I've lived in many places, I would say being kind of relaxed and easygoing and kind of bending with the situations, understanding that different places have different ways of dealing with things, and trying to keep calm when these kind of situations don't necessarily agree with how you've been brought up. Being rigid is not how you get through it. You need to be flexible. You need to understand, like, for example, Chinese are loud and rude and pushy, and you need to be like them or you'll never get on the subway. It's
yes. And the important thing to remember that you are the guest there, and you need to tolerate and respect the culture you are in.
Definitely.
Is it a stereotype, or is it true that Chinese people are not as tidy as Europeans?
It's completely true. It's not a stereotype.
Yes, I've heard lots of comments like this, and also some people asked. Ребята спрашивали, да, про то, как китайцы опрятны или неопрятны. Алекс говорит, да, это правда, что китайцы не такие опрятные, как европейцы. But I think that we really need to put up with it. It is not our country. If you don't like it, go back to your place.
There is that,
and that is why actually traveling really is really important, because people learn to become tolerant and to respect other people and understand them.
Yes, yeah, it broadens the mind and it makes you more tolerant.
So that is the key to living abroad, actually, is to learn as much as you can about the culture, and even if you are surprised, just understand it and tolerate it.
Yeah, and quite often you'll find there is a reason why something is happening. It might look strange to you because you don't know the background. But for example, I knew that little children in China will use the street as a toilet. And whilst I was there, in Beijing is not so bad, but we visited the summer palace. And as we're going down the steps, I see a mother takes the trousers down of the little boy, and he does his business right there in front of everybody. And I thought, oh my God, this is like a public thing. Everybody's here. But then I found out that when I went to the supermarket, especially, they don't have diapers. they're really expensive. When you find them, they're really expensive. And then I thought, well, if you imagine just how many children exist in China, if everybody wears a diaper, the rest of the world is going to be making diapers for China. It's not feasible for them to do this. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It became a necessity. So when I understood this, I was like, okay, I don't like it, but I can understand why it's happening.
I had another problem, not the problem, but the situation that it was different religion, and it was totally different religion because they were Muslim, and it's different. They look. I was wearing a short skirt, and one old lady actually told me to cover my legs.
Yeah.
It was shame on me, like, I really felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
But we actually lived in a student cities, like not so traditional, but some older people, they were not used to seeing the youth walking like this. That was difficult, but the important thing is like to say I'm sorry and just leave, and not to protect your freedom and your rights. I don't know.
Yeah, it might not be the best place.
And there was the thing about traditions. Once I saw a wreath, which we usually give to weddings. We bring them to weddings, like flowers. Венок, ребята, я увидела венок, который люди приносят обычно на свадьбу у нас в России. На похороны. Но в Турции это оказался свадебный венок. Представляете, какой это был шок для меня. I just confused. In Russia, we use it for funerals. And in Turkey, they give it as a gift for weddings.
Okay.
Two totally different events. And that was so shocking for me to see the bride walking with this thing.
Okay.
It was really shocking, and you just need to understand and and show your respect, and maybe also show that you are not that surprised. Maybe you are inside, but just don't show it and say, okay, interesting.
Yeah, or even talk with people. So, in our country, the custom is for this item to be for a different situation without necessarily judging them. It's more like a conversation and get more information about it.
That's right, yes. Вот такие, ребята, бывают ситуации, когда вы живете за границей, и самое первое, что нужно делать, это просто принимать другую культуру, изучать ее лучше. И если вам что-то не нравится, вы просто должны уехать, но не ругаться с людьми и не доказывать свою точку зрения и доказывать то, что ваши традиции лучше, чем традиции в этой стране. Я русская, а Алекс из Соединенного Королевства, из Великобритании. Он говорит только на английском сейчас, но также он знает греческий и китайский язык и рассказывает нам о том, как он учил китайский язык в Китае. Ребята, скажите, пожалуйста, кто-нибудь, have you ever been abroad, guys? Have you got any international experience like this? So just want to see some comments. Maybe they have got some interesting stories too. Oh, Alex, they say that you've got beautiful English.
Thank you.
Because it's British English, and British English is always beautiful, of course.
It's the best of the Englishes.
Yes. All right, yes, of course, we all know this. But actually, there are plenty of accents and different like dialects in the United Kingdom. So, yeah. They are all different. Still, all of them is perfect. They are beautiful.
When I first moved to the north, because I lived in the south, in Hereford, and I moved to Manchester in the north, I couldn't understand what they were saying. And I really couldn't understand what they were saying. I had this incident I was asking for directions. And after the third time, I said, I'm really sorry. I just can't understand anything. And she took me by the hand and pointed down the road and kind of went that way.
I have a very good friend who is from the north, and his accent is just very unusual for me. It was actually at the beginning because I was studying at the university, and at school I was taught that we pronounce the words in a certain way, I think that was the first time I faced with a different accent of English. Not American, not British, but North English. Interesting.
Was he from
really.
Newcastle by any chance?
Okay, some stories, some questions.
Yep.
Some people have had such experience. I was in Estonia. Well, it's barely abroad. Well, they all speak Russian. Yes, actually, many of them speak Russian. The idea also about living in totally different culture, because I think that maybe there is no big difference if you travel around Europe. At least you are not that surprised.
Yeah.
And when you are traveling from Asia to Europe, from Europe to Africa, from Africa to, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, it's different, of course. All right.
Yeah, I think going from Germany to Austria isn't going to be that different.
Okay, guys, everyone is asking you about the money. How expensive is it to live abroad for half a year?
Depends on the country. China is not so expensive. The rent was a bit lower than what I was paying in the United Kingdom, and food is quite cheap. The course was really cheap. I paid £2,500, which would be, say, about €2,500, maybe. It wasn't very expensive. It was half the price I would have paid back in the United Kingdom, and the living costs were quite low. But it's higher than you think, but lower than Europe.
Also, I must say that I come from a country with a weak currency, if I can say so. Yeah, of course, euro and pounds and even dollars, they are really strong currencies, and you can travel to different countries without noticing. I don't know, the expensiveness of some places, and you can if your salary is normally more than their salary where you go to, of course it's cheaper for you to live there. And when I went to Turkey, it was not that expensive, because Turkey is also a cheap country, I would say, rather cheap. And the problem was that we had some political issues back those years. It's like was 2014, and there was war. The war in the Ukraine started, and also dollar went up and ruble went down. So it was a really hard for us. For example, when I came to Turkey, 1 Turkish lira was 15 Russian rubles, but when I was there, it went up to 28 rubles. So it's like twice more than I came first. Yeah. But normally it was like 20, 22, but still I noticed this. And this is also a problem when you are traveling. You need to think about money and how to get them, how to save them, and how to spend them correctly. Yeah.
That's what happened to me, actually. Exactly the same scenario, because I went to China the year Britain voted to leave the European Union, and the currency dropped like a stone. And the day before I flew to China, I could buy 12 yuan for £1. And I planned to stay in China for a whole year. I could afford it. I'd been working for 4 years. And as I was flying, I was sat on the plane. The pound dropped to 7 yuan. And I landed in China, and everything was twice the price suddenly. So I had to cut it short. I could only spend 6 months. And I was flying. It's not like I saw it before I left. I was on the plane. I was so angry.
Yeah. So maybe this is the idea, like the reason to travel somewhere and work there. Like, for example, you are now living in Greece and you're working there. So you are abroad and you are working. So you don't have this problem that you need to save money, then spend money. All right. So, Alex, you've mentioned some tips how to learn a language in living abroad. So the best idea is to go to the country of your target language and just use this language. And then you need to be committed. Committed — это, ребята, такой полностью отдаться тому, что вы делаете. Погрузиться в изучение. Нужно поехать в страну, нужно погрузиться и приложить все свои усилия. And also, you need to learn to respect the country if you are living in this place, and you need to be tolerant and modest, to just respect
do
other
as the locals
culture.
do. We didn't have to be very modest in Beijing. It was crazy. But
Алекс говорит, да, действуйте так, как действуют местные жители. Если они себя как-то ведут, значит, скорее всего, вам тоже так можно. All right. And what other tips would you give to people learning a language? Because you also know one unusual language, which is Greek. And that's just amazing, because it's not like knowing Spanish, Italian, and French, three pretty close languages, but knowing three sides of a triangle. I don't know.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
One of the things that helped me a lot, and this helped me improve my English as well, not just the languages I was learning, is to read a lot and to consume media in the language that you're trying to learn, but especially reading. Because literature, you can get books of all levels, but literature tends to have a good level of English. They don't put in slang, they don't use colloquialisms. It'll be good, clean, whatever the language you're learning. So in this case, English, or I was reading Greek. So you can start off with a lower level. You can even find books that are designed for learners where they will use simple language to get you started and then raise it as you progress. So reading a lot, read a book, really go out there and read a book in the language you want to learn.
Yeah. And as we also can watch many TV shows now.
Yes, yeah, and that kind of encompasses.
It's really helpful in improving your listening skills and your vocabulary also. So yeah, just consume the language as much as you can. Even if you are living in Russia, or if you are living in Ukraine, in different country, where English or the language you're learning is not spoken, you still need to create this mini atmosphere, this culture around you. I've put a map on my wall, so I'm kind of traveling now, and you can listen and read and consume all the information in English or in the language you're learning. Also, listen to music, or just change the language of your phone. Write a diary. Do everything in the language, because it really helps. Otherwise, you can learn really long, like for a really long time. So if you have a limited time frame, if you are committed, you can do it for sure.
And the good thing about English is there is a lot out there you can use. There's so much media is produced, especially from America. There's such a huge production of media and things to just watch, and in terms of shows, films, any humor. YouTube is full of it. Just little video clips from shows, everything. There's just so much you can use. There's something for everybody.
И ребята, кстати, да, очень хорошие, что мы сейчас тоже предлагаем. Это проект Native Show, в котором мы именно создали тоже такое вам место, где у вас атмосфера английского языка. Вы получаете 3 видео в день от носителя языка. Вот, например, Алекс нам записывает видео из Греции, показывал нам свои прекрасные поля в Греции. И также использует разные фразы, которые после присылаются после видео, вопросы, фразы, которые вы можете учить, а также потом вы идете в чат и вы практикуете свои разговорные навыки. Очень много людей, которые приняли участие в проекте, которые в проекте уже месяца 2, или месяц тоже, они уже замечают результаты, что улучшается понимание на слух именно за счет того, что они регулярно слушают, английскую речь каждый день по 3 вот этих коротких видео. Они слушают эти видео, и у них, получается, улучшается понимание на слух. Ребят, кто в Native Show и кто согласен со мной, напишите, пожалуйста, какие результаты вы правда видите. Я видела, там был Кирилл, кстати. Кирилл, ты мне писал, что все было тоже хорошо, что замечаешь результаты. Ребят, напишите, пожалуйста, кто может вообще сказать, а вот если вы слушаете каждый день, какие результаты вы получаете, потому что это действительно правда. Alex, I've been speaking about Native Show, that the idea of the project is the same as living somewhere. It's like surrounding yourself with the language. You listen communicate, and that's why you are learning.
Yeah. Immersion is key. And native show is a good place to hear native speakers.
Immersion,
like
yes.
myself.
Yeah. I know that Tyler, one of our native speakers, he is from Canada and he is actually learning French and a bit of Russian. And one of our guys, he is actually communicating with Tyler as it's like colleagues. It's like the guy that you are. His name is Alexei. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Tyler and Alexei has been teaching Tyler some Russian, even. You know.
Okay.
I learned about this today, and I actually smiled. Yes, it's like really. When you are learning, you need to find opportunities to develop your reading skills, your listening skills, your speaking skills, and your writing skills. And you can do it with a teacher or even yourself. Just you need to have a goal. And that is my next question to you. Why Chinese? Why? What goal did you have? Because without a goal, I think you would never have learned the language.
Yeah. Well, the one was, like I explained, was the personal. I had to get over the first time I failed it. I had to win. The second one was I was sick of my life in the United Kingdom. I really wanted to change my job, and I wanted something more international. I wanted to work in a company that worked globally. And I thought picking up some Chinese language skills would help me with that. So whilst I was in China learning, I was also looking for a job. For me, I was trying to make the switch to Asia. I wanted to leave Europe completely and go to Asia. Things didn't look great in Europe at the time. We had Brexit.
Was it like Eat, Pray, Love thing?
I haven't watched that.
Like avoiding escaping your life and changing everything.
It was, yeah, and it did. It worked. It did change my life a lot. And things weren't looking great in Europe. You know, Greece was in crisis. Britain was leaving the European Union. The fascists were winning all the elections. And there was a lot of Europeans there who were thinking the same way. We were there to find something different, something new. Didn't quite work out because, you know, there's plenty of people already in China. They don't need more. But so yeah, that side of it didn't really work out for me. But that was my goal, was to kind of change and reshape my life. It worked because I have changed it. I've gone to Greece. I'm starting a business there and doing something completely different. But you know, with life, you never know where you end up.
Yeah. Ну что, ребят, когда вы едете изучать язык в другую страну, вам обязательно нужно иметь какую-то цель. И даже если эта цель просто сменить обстановку, это все равно стоит того. Возможно, вы выучите какой-либо новый навык. Да, skills — это навык, умение. И, возможно, вы освоите новый навык, освоите какой-либо язык иностранный. И на самом деле это замечательный опыт, когда вы путешествуете и когда вы получаете что-то интересное от жизни, вы создаете себе эмоции. Ну что, ребят, скажите, пожалуйста, насколько вам понятен сегодняшний эфир, сегодняшняя трансляция от меня и Алекса, которые учителя в English Show, которые у нас здесь стараются для вас. Мы рассказываем вам о нашем опыте, и на самом деле об этом можно говорить часами. Ребят, скажите, пожалуйста, насколько понятно процентов, вот 100%, может быть, 30% вам понятно от того, что говорит Алекс или говорю я? Я видела несколько комментариев, что Алекс говорит понятнее, либо я говорю понятнее. Я бы назвала свое произношение больше американским, но, конечно, все равно не чистое. Над произношением нужно работать хорошо. Вот. Но, тем не менее, вы сейчас слушали два разных произношения, и поэтому насколько вам было вообще понятно нами наш эфир? Alex, I'm asking the guys how many percent of the information, how many percent of our speech flow they got, and some people say it's 80, 40, 90, 95, 70, 85, 95%, 100%. That's nice. 50, 150, 30. Okay, so still a good result, and still it is a good practice of listening and really And listening and also participating. It's like they are developing their skills right now. They are training their listening skills. That's great, and I like it. So that I like when people are they have good results. Yesterday I was talking to some guys from the project, the participants, and I really got many positive reviews. I don't know, maybe I just haven't got to these guys with bad reviews, but still I have 90% of good reviews, and they all see progress. They all say that they see the progress in their listening skills, and I'm really happy because as a teacher, I see that this thing works when you are committed, when you listen every day, and when you are trying, when you are putting a lot of effort, then of course you can make great progress.
Yeah, commitment is key.
Yep. Okay. Alex, what can you say about your participation in Native Show? What maybe is it like what makes you participate? Why do you like it personally? It's like people are learning a language, but why do you like it?
I quite like it because I get to speak to a lot of different people, hear different things, meet a lot of people. Some people have some really interesting things to say. We have some really good conversations. I mean, I generally like helping people improve their skills. That's why I am becoming a teacher. But it's just meeting all these people and talking about all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I learned a lot about Karelia. I think it was Inka who was telling us. Was it? And the wooden church that's on the island. And then I looked it up, and I found out there's all these other wooden structures there which are really important. I would never have found out about this if I hadn't had the conversation. So I get a lot out of it.
And I think having and making friends and having some other network around the world is also a great experience. For example, one of our native speakers, Matt, lives in Prague, and I'm sure if I go to Prague, he will be really happy to meet me, just maybe to grab a cup of coffee and just to chat. And this is great when you have someone to support you. Maybe if I go to Greece, for example, or you go to Russia, maybe you won't be spending like whole my stay with me. It's like you won't be 24 hours with me, but still I will have you as a friend, as a person who can help me when I am in a different country. And this is great to make these friends all around the world. That, for example, is my Erasmus experience. I have met so many great guys from Europe, from other places, and it's really great when you have someone, when you are making friends, and the internet really allows us to stay friends and to keep in touch. That's great.
Brings us closer together.
Ребята, что у нас тут происходит? Молодцы, ребята, все придумали, понятно, на 80%. Спасибо большое. Если слов не знаешь, у себя не очень поняла вопрос. Когда говоришь перед зеркалом... когда говоришь перед зеркалом, как бы ты ответил на некоторые вопросы? Нет, Саня дело говорит. Саня говорит то, что если вы практикуете самостоятельно, даже перед зеркалом, вы уже практикуете свой разговорный навык, и вы учитесь вы уже готовы к реальному разговору, что будет позже. И даже такая практика, она полезна. Ребят, мы уже готовы подводить итоги нашего эфира. Спасибо за встречу, было очень полезно. Спасибо, ребята, большое. Если вы пишете, мы уже подводим наши итоги эфира, и хотелось бы ответить на ваши вопросы, если они у вас возникли. А также нам очень хотелось вам рассказать побольше о проекте Native Show. Это проект, в котором вам предоставляется куча возможностей. Там есть преподаватели, там есть ежедневные видео, там есть носители, к которым можно задавать вопросы, там есть преподаватели, которым тоже можно задавать вопросы. У нас есть фразы со словами на английском языке, то, что используется прямо сейчас в реальной речи. Есть сборники ошибок, которые вы допускаете. Если вы смотрите на них, вы видите, что их можно избегать. Очень много есть у нас идей и также интересных уже вещей, которые есть в проекте. Поэтому попробуйте, присоединитесь к нам, и вы не пожалеете, потому что вы создадите для себя такую микросистему изучения языка. И самое главное, что вы можете заводить друзей, и вы можете именно задавать вопросы и общаться с носителями, не навязываясь никому, а именно просто участвуя в разговоре. Ребят, какие есть вопросы у вас? Какие вопросы по изучению английского ко мне, может быть, к Алексу? Guys, what questions do you have? What we are ready to answer. We just have 5 minutes to answer your questions if you have any. And we would love to do it. Alex, it was your first stream.
Yes.
Live stream. Yeah. So do you feel a celebrity already?
Not quite, but
Not quite. Okay. So
Not
what are your feelings like? How do you feel?
I quite enjoyed it, actually. Yeah, this has been good. I like sharing my experiences, especially of traveling.
And I personally think we just can speak hours about this, and it's
there's so much.
never enough. Yeah.
I have so many
So
stories.
many stories. Yeah, so many stories. Exactly.
Yeah, I can't put pictures up. I've got hundreds.
Alex, do you have a YouTube channel? They ask you.
No, I do not.
No, okay. He is working on a farm. He doesn't have time for YouTube, guys. Okay. Also, they ask to recommend some books to read. What can you say about reading books, and what should your choice depend on?
It should depend on your level, because if you go too high level and you're not ready for it, you will become demoralized. If you go too low, it'll feel a bit too easy. So it's kind of finding the right book for your level. I don't have any titles off the top of my head, but one good way is to look for kind of young teenage fiction. Even if you're a bit older and you might think the story is a bit silly, the language tends to be a bit easier and the stories tend to be kind of acceptable. So you can read it, kind of take the vocabulary and not feel like you've read something completely terrible. So that's one way, if you can be patient enough to get through them. But I would recommend looking for the ones that are designed for your level. If you want a story that's not awful and is more tailored to your level, I think a good place to start is the ones that are designed specifically for this job.
Yeah, there are plenty of editions which even have levels on them. I have a German book like this with the level stated. There are 4 levels, and you can choose the one for you. Or there is another situation. For example, you can go to a bookstore, open a book, and check whether it's difficult for you or not, how much you understand from it. What's the book?
I have the graded Chinese reader. It's for 1,500 words, and that's telling me the level there. It's for people who know. I know 2,000 Chinese words, so 1,500 is the right one.
Too easy for you.
No, it's they have the 1,000 words I don't know, so it's been quite difficult.
All right.
So you can
just, the idea is to try different things. Try if it works, try if you like it, and if not, just change it, but never give up and find your personal approach, right?
Yeah.
Ну что, ребята, все, уже нам пора заканчивать эфир. Я надеюсь, что эфир был полезный. Мы вас ждем в нашем Native Show, где у вас будет возможность пообщаться с носителями языка, используя аудиосообщения, видеосообщениями. А также обязательно приходите на наши разговорные клубы, чтобы принимать участие в таком же живом разговоре, который я сейчас имела с Алексом. То есть мы разговаривали, он мне отвечал, я задавала вопросы, он задал вопросы мне. И то же самое мы можем делать в разговорных клубах или в нашем канале Native Show, в нашем проекте Native Show. Присоединяйтесь, пожалуйста, ссылка на все будет в описании этого видео. Видео останется на канале. Ну, а мы с вами уже начинаем прощаться. And it's time to say goodbye, and it's time to say thank you very much for participating, for asking questions, and for being here till the end.
And a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from you. That's right. So not many words. Yes. So guys, we will come back. Alex will come back. Just collect your questions and And just keep an eye on our English show channel for new live streams and other cool events. Thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you.
Bye.
Alex, bye.
Yes, thank you
Thank
very
you very much,
also.
Alex, too.
And
Yeah, yes.
see you.
I'll see you again. Guys, say thank you, and everybody is really sad that we are finishing it.
We can do it again.
Right. Yeah, we can do it. Thank you very much, Alex. I'll see you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.